Yo, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy GZTV back with another video, and in this video we are going to be we're going to be reviewing the 2015 American horror thriller film written and produced by Jeremy Saulnier and produced by Neil Kopp, Victor Moyers, and Anish Savjani. Not a huge blockbuster movie, but it's got a really interesting concept. This is one of the first of its kind that I've watched. I think it's really fucking cool. It's super unique. I don't really have much to say for now. We're going to get into the plot. We're going to get into what people are saying, what I'm saying about it. I think it's really fun, really good time. So, yeah, let's get into it. It's obviously produced by A24. You guys know that I love A24. There's been a lot of those movies we've reviewed here. So, let's get into it. So we're gonna get into the plot. So this story follows Pat, Sam, Reese, and Tiger, who are members of a punk band, the Ain't Rights, traveling through the Pacific Northwest. Trying to kind of find some solid gigs, to get their band off the ground. You know how that goes, obviously. So after their gig is canceled, a local radio host, Tad, arranges a show through his cousin Daniel at a neo-Nazi skinhead bar in the woods outside Portland, opening for the Nazi metal band Cowcatcher. Obviously, if you know who Cowcatcher is in the story, you should know that they're Nazis, I guess. But I don't know. I guess these people just were like, oh, that's fucking radical. That's super, edgy, I guess. They knew that these were neo-Nazis, but they didn't know, the extent of, their beliefs and how radical and how extreme these guys would get. So, yeah, it's definitely really interesting. These people quickly start to get, start to kind of concern you as you're watching, and you're like, okay, what are these people's motives? So after the show, Pat returns to the green room to retrieve Sam's phone. The green room is why it is called the green room. So he sees the body of a girl, Emily, who has been stabbed to death by Worm, a member of Cowcatcher, who again is an extreme neo-Nazi, and he's super violent. He acts out on things, all that type of stuff. So Pat calls the police, but the bar employees, Gabe and Big Justin, confiscate the band's phones and hold them captive in the green room. And it seems like, well, this is a normality around here. These people always get violent and bad things always happen here. Maybe it's like a ritual. I'm not really sure. So, if Gabe pays a skinhead to stab another to create a cover story for the police who respond to the call. And they pretty much bow down to this guy, Darcy, who's the owner of the property, who pretty much runs this neo-Nazi group. And he tries to act like he's this innocent man at first, but no, you're not fooling anyone. So Gabe pays he consults with the bar owner and skinhead leader Darcy, who decides to kill the band to eliminate witnesses. So eventually when they leave, they're gonna fucking die. Which the problem is they pretty much stay cooped up there for the first half of the movie. Maybe even first third of the movie. So the band overpowers Big Justin and holds him hostage, taking a box cutter from his pocket and his pistol. So they're kind of de-threatening him, neutralizing the threat, I guess you could call it. So they negotiate through the door with Darcy, who asks them to surrender the pistol because he doesn't want anything bad to happen. He doesn't want any bad blood. He just wants them to get rid of the pistol. And he's kind of trying to promise them well, you'll get away eventually. We just have to kind of de-escalate this situation. So Pat agrees, but as he opens the door, Emily's friend Amber realizes it is a trap, and there's these guys named Red Laces. They're these elite members. It's pretty much like earning a gold star. It's pretty much like in karate earning a black belt. That's what it is to them. It's they're prestigious members, getting these red laces, and Amber sees this and knows that it's just bad news. So yeah, Amber's obviously a part of Cowcatcher, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. So Darcy and his men slash at Pat's arm with machetes until he drops the gun, but he closes the door. He's his hands damn near falling off. It's pretty gross. But Big Justin attacks the band, but Reese chokes him into unconsciousness. I don't know what the hell Reese has in background prior to this. Is he a jiu-jitsu guy? Karate? I don't know what's going on. MMA? Who knows? But when Big Justin surprises Reese by awaking again, Reese chokes Big Justin again, and Amber kills him with the box cutter. Making sure that he's not going to be a problem. These people obviously didn't plan on killing this guy, but it just had to happen. So Searching for a way out, the band discovers an underground drug lab, but the only exit is locked from the outside. There's like this little chimney, this little like sewer looking thing that like goes down and it's like locked from the outside. They bang on it, they can't get it to go. So, arming themselves with improvised weapons, they exit the green room into the empty club, trying to fend for themselves, trying to take out anybody that attacks them and make an escape. So, a skinhead, Clark, unleashes an attack dog, which kills Tiger. Literally, like, bites him to fucking pieces, damn near. Like, bites through his neck. He's, like, gurgling blood out of his neck. It's fucked up. It's super gruesome. This movie's pretty intense. Obviously, it has a lot of, like, intense aesthetics to it, whether it be punk bands, neo-Nazi clans, all this stuff. Drugs, everything. So, Amber and Pat drive the dog away with microphone feedback. Obviously, most dogs have pretty sensitive ears. Reese flees through a window, but is hacked to death by a skinhead. They would chop him up, stab the fuck out of him. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Pat, Amber, and Sam retreat to the green room. They go back in there, lock it up, and decide to like make a stand. Darcy sends Daniel into the club to kill the band, who Darcy claims murdered Emily. Like, they have to kind of frame them for this so they don't look bad if the authority ever come. I don't know. I don't think he genuinely thinks that they did that because they didn't. So, Amber tells Daniel. I guess Darcy's trying to get Daniel to think this. He doesn't know that Worm did it. So Amber tells Daniel that Worm murdered Emily after discovering Daniel and Emily planned to leave the skinheads. They planned to like go on a treat, go away with each other, and be romantic. So Daniel agrees to help them escape and leads the band into the club where he is shot dead by the bartender. Literally gets fucking pumped to the face. The group kills the bartender and takes a shotgun, but Clark's dog kills Sam, eats her alive pretty much just as the dog did to Reese earlier. So now it is just Amber and Pat, I believe. So Darcy's men wound Amber, who scrambles back to the green room with Pat. So Darcy sends the skinheads Jonathan and Kyle to kill Pat and Amber, and he leaves with the bodies, planning to stage their deaths to appear as if they were killed trespassing. I guess technically it's self-defense. That's still not right, though. That's not like a really good justification, I wouldn't say. But, I guess. Pat lures Jonathan into the drug lab while Kyle remains in the green room. Amber ambushes Kyle and cuts his throat with a box cutter, pretty much killing him. As Pat fights Jonathan, Amber sneaks up and shoots him. So, yeah, they pretty much defuse those two. Gabe enters the green room to find his companions dead and surrenders to Pat and Amber. He's 2-on-1. He's like, okay. And most of these people, when they join the skinheads, they don't really know the implications of this. So I feel like Gabe kind of wanted a way out this entire time. He's kind of acting very submissive and like not willing to defend his group. I don't know. It's really weird. But holding Gabe at gunpoint, the group trek through the woods. When Pat hears Darcy and his men staging the crime scene, he and Amber go after them to kill them all. And obviously, I forgot to mention, like, Pat has this weird, like, pep talk kind of going on throughout the movie. And that's kind of like an interesting thing. It's kind of centered on, their attack has, like, parallels to that, I guess. Holy shit, I have headphone hair. This is bad. Headphone dent. But, Gabe volunteers to go into a farm and kill the police. Or call the police, not kill them, Jesus Christ. To, like, get help. So, Pat and Amber kill Clark and another skinhead. Fleeing, Darcy pulls a revolver from his jacket, but is shot dead by Pat and Amber. Pat and Amber sit on the side of the road and wait for the police, and Pat's kind of sitting there talking about his desert rock band or whatever. If you were I think it's like the age-old question, like if you were stranded in a desert, if you had one band to listen to, who would it be? And he tries to ask Amber the same question at the end. If you watch the movie, obviously you would understand. This is a spoiler review, I guess, so I guess you guys would have watched the movie. But he asked her this question like, I think I know my desert rock band. And like after all of this, he has this question to ask, and she's kind of like, ask someone who gives a shit. Like, really, dude? It's a funny moment. There's a lot of comedy there, but it's a really good movie. So let's get into the review. So just getting into the review of this thing, I think it's really good. I think it's a C to B. It could be a B to A, but I think I'm gonna keep it at a C to B for now. Really, really good. I mean, the Green Room delivers unapologetic genre thrills with uncommon intelligence and powerful attacked Elon. It's great. I mean, a lot of people like this. It's like at the very top of C, low B for me. Again, C to B. Sorry, I just sound like a damn broken record at this point. But this is really good. I actually really enjoyed this. This is one of the better movies we have watched recently, especially compared to like Rosemary's Baby. I think this movie shits on that one. I know that one came out like 50 years ago, but this is great. I mean, Patrick Stewart, Imongi Poots, Aaliyah Shawkat, and Macomb Blair's performances were great. The film's a wonderfully nasty, gruesome, jagged edge gem of a horror film that has first-rate cinematography, set design, soundtrack, and editing. Damn near every part of this movie is good. I don't really see a weakness in it at all. There's obviously some critiques, some negatives for this movie. Not every movie is perfect. We can kind of get into that shortly. But for now, I have really high praise for it. It's really good. Jeremy Saulnier, Murder Party Blue Ruin, continues one of the best streaks in independent horror with this terrifying and inventive thriller. You know, at the time, Jeremy Saulnier, or whatever his name was, however you say it, was taking over indie horror. So it's really cool to see him, have this movie to add that he added to his resume. It's a tense gore fest, one that's as grimy and claustrophobic as the titular room. But scrape off the scrum and you'll find Green Room full of visual artistry, dark humor, smart writing, and glints of humanity. I think it's great. I think it's really well written, well executed. It's hard to execute movies like this, and they did a really good job. So, shout out to the creators. It's the follow-up to Blue Ruin again for Jeremy. It pits a rock band against white supremacists with ace, ultra-violent results. And again, like I said towards the beginning of this video, this is a super unique concept. This is not something that you see happen in horror every day. I mean, obviously, there's a different type of threat. I guess the concept, being trapped and kidnapped when you thought it was all good on the surface and you thought you belonged is not really a new thing. But just the aesthetic of neo-Nazis and punk bands, I think it's so cool. I think a lot of people will find this really dope as they watch it. The film's genre maturity, immoral survivalism, and malleable sense of good and evil, brutal efficiency, wary humor. It's kind of been compared to like John Carpenter's movies. The cast is great as well. I mean, these aren't actors that you normally hear about, but if the world knows any justice, then the Screen Actors Guild will remember this cast when it doles out its awards. I don't know if any of them won awards. I mean, the film is for anyone who enjoys sitting through 90 tense minutes and feeling the attendant adrenaline rush. It's like a well-constructed horror movie that's as intimate as it is unnerving. It's a technically sharp backwoods horror thriller that lacks kind of a human element, I guess. It's entertaining. Some people say it's less disciplined, less original, less memorable than some of Jeremy's other films. I don't know. I think it's really good. That's all I have to say. I don't want to keep you guys for too long. It's good. Obviously, it doesn't have a lot of human aspects. It doesn't have a lot of personal things to it. It isn't super original. I guess those are really the only critiques. But I still do like the idea of like neo-Nazis being in it. I don't support Nazism or whatever the fuck you call that stupid shit. But it's cool, so leave a like, comment, subscribe. I am out, guys. That's it. Tomorrow we are going to be reviewing Pontypool, which is a horror film from 2008. We're just kind of getting through horror movies. I think after I get these clips together and post this, I'll probably start watching that before I go to class. Yeah, guys, I'm out. What's up, brother?